Welcome grade 4s to WorksheetCloud.com's online lessons. I'm Mrs. Nicole Frank and I'll be teaching you English home language for grade 4s. So you better get used to seeing me because I am going to be on your screens every single day. Right, so how is this different from a classroom? Well, first of all, you can see me, I can't see you, which means that I can't tell you to sit still or concentrate, right? No, I can't. So all I can do is hope that I'm going to be as entertaining enough so that you can stay tuned in for the whole of this lesson. Right, so how will I help you if you have any questions? Well, on the next slide, there is going to be an email address and you can email any questions or concerns you have to that email address and anything that pertains to this particular lesson. If your parents have any queries or wondering when the next lesson is going to start or anything like that, please refer yourselves to the FAQs on this website and I'm sure it will answer any queries that you might have. Right, so let's get into it. Remember, grade 4s, I spoke to you about the email address that you can send any of your concerns or queries or questions about this lesson. Here it is. So today's lesson is going to be about sentence structure. Okay, and I want us to start at the very beginning. So before we continue on to the next, so that nobody is lost as I continue. So at the end of this lesson, I would like you to be able to do or know the following things. Understand what a sentence is. Identify a subject and a verb. Understand how a sentence is organized. So right at the end of this lesson, I would like to know that these are the things that you are able to do. And the way that you'll be able to know that is at the end of this lesson, there will be a homework activity and you can complete that one on your own. Again, any questions you might have, please direct it to the email address at the bottom of this web page. So like I said, we're going to start right at the beginning. What is a sentence? Now, I don't want to take it for granted that everybody knows what a sentence is. Yes, we can all say sentences, but when it comes to writing sentences, it's important that we know how to write one. So right at the very beginning, what we need to know a sentence as is, sentence have words. And that is right in the very beginning, words. What kind of words? What is the word's purpose in the sentence? So I have chosen a wide range of words and we're going to just see how they fall into place. So Stacy jumped, Joe kicked, she ball sat the. Those are my words. Let me just go back to the previous slide quickly. So basically these words now are able to tell me something because words are chosen for a specific purpose. Okay? And that's what I want you to bear in mind as we move forward. We need to keep in mind that when we write a sentence or we choose words, it's done for a specific purpose. So now we've come to the conclusion that a sentence has words, right? Each word has a function in a sentence. Like I said, there's a purpose for it. So each word has a function. We call the different types of words parts of speech. Let's look at the words from the previous slide. So now we're going to look at the same words that we've just seen now. Stacy jumped. Joe kicks. She ball sat the. Okay, so those are the words that was in the previous slide. These are words, but is this a sentence? Now we've come to the conclusion that a sentence has words, but these are words. Is that a sentence? Stacy jumped, Joe kicked, she ball sat the. I don't know, grade 4s, is it? I don't think so. So let's take it a step further. Let's see how we can start making us a sentence, okay? Look at this picture. I'm going to give you a moment to look at it because I want you to study this picture and think about what is happening in this picture. And ask yourselves, who is in this picture? Give the person a name. So you can give the person any name that you can think of, okay? And I want you to make the sentence your own. I'm going to call him Joe. So the person in my picture is going to be called Joe, but you can have any name that suits yourself. What is the person doing? So here's the picture again on the side. As you can see, my person that I named is Joe, and you can see that Joe is doing something. Can you please write down or say it out loud what Joe is doing? I'll give you a moment to think about it. He kicks the ball, right? So, as you can see now, I've given you a picture, and in this picture, I've named my character Joe, and Joe kicks a ball. Okay, you will have a different name, but basically doing the same action. So now we're going to look at the sentence structure. This is how a sentence is organized. Okay, so when we refer to a sentence structure, we are talking about how a sentence is organized. A sentence begins with a capital letter and can end in a full stop, question mark, or an exclamation mark. So that means that it doesn't necessarily mean that it's only a sentence if it ends in a full stop, or it's only a sentence if it ends in a question mark. It can be a sentence if it ends in a full stop, question mark, or an exclamation mark. But a sentence will always begin with a capital letter. A sentence needs a subject and a verb. So this is very important, grade 4s, because if your sentence doesn't have a subject and a verb, it's not going to make sense. And lastly, the sentence must make sense. So now we're going to look at the subject and the verb. We now know that we need a person performing the action like Joe, okay, or the person that you've given, the name that you've given, and we call this a subject. We have to have an action being made in the sentence, and we call this a verb. So the subject can be a noun or a pronoun. For example, Jane, she, Sandy, I, they. Okay, so anyone or any of the, if you can think of any other subjects, that's fine as well, as long as it's a noun or a noun phrase or a pronoun. The verb is a doing word, so therefore it is an action, something that is being done. And you ask yourself, can I jump? Can I run? Can I walk? Can I Jane? No. So therefore it can't be a verb. If the answer is no, then it's not a verb. So there we go. If the answer is yes, then it is a verb. Can I cry? Yes, I can cry. So therefore cry would be a verb. So we are going right back again to our words. So here we have our words. Stacy jumped, Joe kicked, she sat the ball. Okay? And the reason I'm putting the slide back on is so that we can go right back to the beginning and remember what we thought of when we saw that picture. Okay? So as you can see now, we're going to build our sentence, and we're going to build a sentence that makes sense. So let's create our sentence. Joe kicks the ball. And let's not forget our full stop. So at this stage, we have now got our subject, who is Joe, our verb, that's kicks. But we know that we must start our sentence with a capital letter. And we are ending the sentence with a full stop. Subject, verb, and object. Now I wrote over here that the object not always, because there are times where it does not require an object. So that means that a sentence doesn't need an object to make sense all the time. So our subject, our verb, and the ball is our object. To conclude, almost there, grade 4. A sentence must make sense. So I'm going to say it over and over and over again. A sentence must make sense. So whenever you think of a sentence, you're going to think of the word sense. And here's why. It starts with a capital letter. Essential to have a subject and a verb. Needs to breathe at times, so use a comma. It must make sense. Ends with a full stop, question mark, or an exclamation mark. That is the way you can remember writing up a sentence, so that for next time when you think about, how am I going to write the sentence, or how am I going to start the sentence, I can think of the word sense. I'm going to leave this on here for a moment just so that you can get an idea of how you can structure your sentences for next time. Right, let's move on. We're going to do an activity together, okay? Firstly, here is my sentence. Sandra walked to the shop. My first question is for you to identify the subject of the sentence. The subject of the sentence is who or what is performing the action. So in the sentence, who or what is performing the action in grade 4s? The subject of the sentence is Sandra. Well done. The second question is, identify the verb in the sentence. Remember, the verb is the action or the doing word in the sentence. So Sandra walked to the shop. Which one of those words is the doing word? The verb in the sentence is walked. Very good, grade 4. So, we basically reached the end of this lesson, but I'm sure some of you might have some questions. Like I said before, if you have any questions and you require answers, there is an email address available. And for those of you that would love some extra work about this specific topic, the homework, you look up and if you have any questions and answers, please look down because the email address is at the bottom of this window in the website. So grade 4s, if you have missed anything or if you are confused about anything, please go back and watch the slides again so that you can remember and understand perfectly. But if that's not going to help, please send your email to the email address at the bottom of this browser and we will get back to you. Thank you so much for watching today, grade 4. I hope this was helpful. And once again, let us thank WorksheetCloud for providing these lessons every day to all learners. Thank you very much, grade 4.